Okay, so you started with an internship, right, at this
Yes.
FANG company. How did you get that first internship, though your prior experience spoke to media?
That's a great question. So I know everyone's like, get on LinkedIn, make sure your LinkedIn profile is update, but I am a LinkedIn stan. LinkedIn, if you're listening, hit me up. Okay.
Okay.
Um, but I'm a LinkedIn stan. And LinkedIn is great for so many different reasons. And one of those is research. So my strategy actually, when I was considering, my internship search, and I sought out like in my second to last year about me graduating, I want like my all my goals. I wanted to work for like a big tech company. I wasn't really too picky on the function. I just wanted the opportunity just to see how a big corporation runs and to get that corporate experience. So I spent about 3 months researching. And you know what I did? I was looking at everybody that was putting up their I'm proud to announce posts. I put it in a folder. I probably had like 75 kids I'm proud to announce at different tech companies. And when I looked through each folder and I categorized it by the different companies that they were announcing, I looked at, functions that were interesting. So there were some kids who were in like media backgrounds and they got these internships. And there were other kids who doing like technical internships at the companies. I saved them all. One thing that I noticed in particular that they would always thank either the manager for the team that they were joining and the recruiter that also helped them onboard. Got a list for the of the recruiters that I wanted. And one thing I did was I was just like, okay, if these kids have the same experience or kind of like stats in a sense, we had the same stats, probably our major was similar, the school environment that was in, our internship experience looks similar, then I'm like, okay, these are the list of recruiters I need to reach out to. Then on top of that, I met with some other people who worked at their company. This was a long process for me to like actually before I sent the message. And I think like a lot of the times when we hear people, they're like, "Oh, just reach out, find a recruiter." Sometimes it takes a little bit more research than people acknowledge because you want to make sure that you're not only reaching out to the right person, but you got the right pitch. Like your pitch is solid. So I made sure to speak to a couple of people that I knew who worked at these tech companies. And even that is a bit of a challenge because, everyone's schedule is crazy, but I was fortunate enough to meet people. This is around the time of like quarantine, so that also helped as well in my advantage because everyone was at home. But I really made sure to hone in on my pitch with including language that the company like embodied, whether that was in their brand messaging or in their mission statement. So I literally was like going on Google, looking up company's mission statement, including that in my pitch, making sure it was the right recruiter. And I kind of just sent those messages off. Didn't really hear anything for a couple of months. Got a message back on LinkedIn, and the recruiter was interested in my experience. Emailed her, and then the rest is history.
Yeah. So, question that I heard you mention, a word that I heard you mention that might that everyone might not know is function. You're like, it may not be in that function, or what does that mean?
Okay, yes. Okay, so when I'm referring to functions, when you're looking at a company, there's different functions, departments, as you may say, like of where different products may lie under. So this could be design. This could be, your marketing team. This could be your business development team. This could be engineering. This could be people management. So that could be HR business, HR relations, all of those things. So when I'm mentioning functions, I was looking at different functions like would I be interested in engineering? Would I be interested in marketing? Program management. So I was looking at those different departments and then seeing like where I kind of wanted to shoot my shot for a future internship. And then, my goal was to get the full-time job and I did by God's grace. So that was a strategy that I was working on.
Yeah. And for anyone listening, don't be afraid to go for an internship. You heard that Deandra was finishing grad school and going into an internship. So don't feel like you have to jump into a full-time role just because you're a certain age or have certain qualifications. It's never too late. It is never too late. And especially if you're switching fields in the way that she did, an internship is probably the best way to get in versus trying to start with a full-time position.